Greetings everyone, my name is Enternal, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 4 viewer submitted levels, so in this part I'll be covering at least 4 or 5 more viewer submitted levels, starting out with this one, Derilect Factory by TylerBot, with 10 plays and a score of 1. As always, if you want one of our levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comments section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check out our levels covered, expand the description. So for this stage, we have the capability of playing as either Mega Man or Bass. Mega Man is the normal route through the stage, whereas Bass is the hard mode version. So I'll first go through the stage as Mega Man, and if the stage is short enough, I'll play through it again as Bass. Nice introduction to the conveyor belts and presses here. Challenges are gradually escalating here. Now we have several series of these presses and conveyor belts, combined with these tellies. I'm a bit suspicious about the teleporter down over there. It looks like a teleporter exit specifically. Yeah, I can definitely see why this stage would be harder for Bass, like this room for example. That shotman on the left would be impossible for Bass to defeat, or much harder to defeat due to the walls in place, whereas Mega Man can easily just shoot through the walls. And if I was playing as Bass, I wouldn't be able to go through this teleporter here. Just wanted to be a little bit more careful there. So far so good, nothing too challenging yet. It's certainly a step up in comparison to the main stage pad, but it's doable. And we gain access to his free E-tank. These comp bombs were put in place here so we don't just bypass the Sniper Duo challenge by damage boosting. I know I did this several times throughout several levels. Same over here with this Neo Shotman. Another good checkpoint placement. Now we're combining usage of the Neo Shotman, the Crushers, as well as the Fire Bars, and conveyor belts of course. And if I take this upper challenge route, I can gain access to the boss's weakness. So let's do it. That was a lot easier than what I expected it to be. I was expecting there to be a lot more instant death traps. But the stage isn't over just yet. I thought that was the boss gate, but no, there's more of the stage left. Having the combo here makes this segment a lot easier as well, especially if you're playing his base, considering his shots only deal half the amount of damage as Mega Man's do. Oh, and we're sent back over here. That's neat. This screen looks a little bit familiar. No, it's a bit different, never mind. But that's a nice way of looping up the stage to an earlier point. I do approve. And this is the end of the stage, judging by these full refills over here. So it's time to fight Napalm Man. Overall, a pretty solid fortress stage. And I also have access to a free tank that base wouldn't have access to, so it makes this boss fight a bit easier for playing as Mega Man. And of course, if I was playing as base, I would actually be able to access the upper Shadow Man platforms. Most of the stage isn't going to be different for base, it's basically the same route, though I won't gain access to the free tank, and some of the enemy placements are going to be harder to destroy because base can't shoot through walls, plus it takes double the amount of time, until I gain access to the Crash Bomb, that is. In fact, the Crash Bomber is more useful for base in comparison to Mega Man. It gives him a bigger boost up, basically. Based on my first impressions, it's a 7 out of 10. I would say that execution could be done a little bit better, like, for example, the previous stage, Blasting Zone. I feel that based on my future playthroughs, it's an 8 out of 10. All these scores I'm giving are based on my first impressions, and usually what I do in these first impressions is that I tend to underscore them a bit, and then in my future playthroughs, I adjust the score upwards. Second level on the lineup is Run and Gun 2 But Possible by Hydrochlorination, with 14 plays and a score of 1. The first one was certainly doable, but it did have one area with a difficulty spike. So let's see how this one compares with the previous iteration. And we immediately start off by running to the right. And spike hitboxes kill me over there. That's why I really don't like jumping over these spikes. If only this main toss gave me more time. And I need to respawn at top over there because that metal killed me there. And there's no checkpoints either, so I need to do this in one go. There we go. And yet I failed it because I didn't have enough time. And I die over here. I really don't like these types of stages to play through. Mainly due to spike hitboxes and engine issues. And I thought I was going to make that jump, but apparently not. Expect at least a half a dozen deaths on this stage. Made it that time. Rats, I need that. Please put a checkpoint nearby. Thank you. I died at least 4 or 5 times in that first section alone. This is certainly less doable than the previous stage by far. It's already a lot more difficult than that stage was overall. And I need the key over there, so time to reset. Didn't time my jump correctly over there. And I immediately need to do a tap jump to the left so I don't fall into the bottom section. Still didn't time my jump correctly. Nope, that's not how I'm supposed to do it. So I need to do the jump at the correct time on the left top in order to make it to the right one. Made it, this time. I hit the A button over there, but of course the engine didn't accept it. After several dozen deaths off screen, almost 100, I've completed this level. And overall, I don't think I liked it. Normally, I'd actually give this stage a thumbs down, but I won't. This was designed to be a Kaiser level, I'd say. It's definitely much less possible than the previous one. The previous one could be doable by a sort of intermediate to intermediate Mega Man Maker player, but this one I wouldn't recommend unless you're somewhat advanced to advanced Mega Man Maker player. Intermediate players can do it, but it's going to be really difficult and frustrating. Over 75% of the deaths that happened off screen, they were due to engine issues, and this is one of the stages that really illustrates some of the aspects of the engine I don't like. Specifically the controls, and spike hitboxes, mainly the first. The majority of the deaths happened there were due to my jump button or slide button not registering properly. Third level on the lineup is Napalm Man Demands a Rematch by the number 1234567 with 9 plays and a score of 1. So we are going to be facing Napalm Man using bass in this unique arena. Somehow I was able to do this in my first attempt. I thought I was gonna die over there. Guess my experience bug testing in Magmal 2 plus playing against Napalm Man several times really worked out for me here. Neat little boss arena, I will give it that. Fourth level on the lineup is Metal Man Remix by Shin Lone Wolf 981 with 43 plays and a score of 2. Another one of these remix stages by Shin Lone Wolf. Most of them haven't really appealed to me. It seems that we're using a combination of the tile set from Metal Man's stage, as well as another stage, probably Cutman's level, or is it Bomb Man's stage, along with the background from Magnet Man's level. And now we're using Metal Man's background over here. And just like all the other stages by this author, we have some forced weapon usage. Thank you for the checkpoint as well as that free M-Tank. Considering the stage's difficulty, we don't really need an M-Tank here. At least put it behind a challenge or something, or an optional area. And I guess we have a Rush Jet segment now. Just make sure to hold left to slow down Rush here in order to make the gap. Same over here, I guess. That was easy. Thank you for the other M-Tank here. I'll reuse the one I have already before collecting this one. And that's the end of the stage. Honestly, it kinda felt unfocused, and it didn't even have any of the presses from Metal Man's original level. Once again, this stage didn't really resonate with me. It felt rather weak and unfocused. It didn't feel like a traditional level, it felt more like a rather weak fortress level, so I cannot give this stage a thumbs up. Fifth level on the lineup is Dr. Amyor Stage 1 by MeeM, with 17 plays and a score of 3. Based off the title, I presume this will be a fortress stage, as well as a special weapons oriented stage based off of the selection of weapons I get. And we start this stage with a rolling drill barreling towards the left towards us, so make sure to jump over it. Okay, another one of these gotcha moments where you need to react fast. Same with the opener. Usually I do not like where you have to react fast at the beginning of the level. I always like to have the beginning of the stage be a little bit safe, but then again, I suppose in Run and Gun 2 but possible, the beginning part of the stage wasn't safe at all and you need to react quickly in order to survive. No enemies yet, just gimmicks. The only destroyable enemy in the stage, well not really enemy but gimmick, were the rolling drills. I presume this will be a spike drop segment. Just a bunch of these rooms with these rainbow platforms. Well, I completely screwed up that challenge. At least the checkpoint was just 3 screens away. And I didn't tiptoe at the right time, either. That's how I'm supposed to do it. I just screwed it up due to my incompetence. So it seems that this fortress level is going to focus only on gimmicks. That's different from the usual bunch of stages. The majority of fortress levels always have some sort of enemies for Mega Man to face, but this one is unique in the regard that there's only gimmicks here. Some of which can directly damage Mega Man, but all of them are inanimate and not dynamic. Or rather, Mega Man can't destroy them, outside the rolling drills of course. Okay, now we have our first enemy type, the Metals. But only one over there. Now we have these fire bars and elect beams. And 2 more enemy types. Well, okay then. Honestly, I would have preferred if this stage had no enemies whatsoever, so that this stage would be more unique. The only enemy would be at the end of the stage. Or perhaps the ending part of the stage won't have any enemies at all, you just need to go through one final gauntlet with all the gimmicks we encountered in order to reach an energy element or a party ball. And now we're back to Mega Man. That was a rather short segment. And now we fight Bubble Man. And unlike many of the other stages by MeeM, Bubble Man can actually damage us here. But as I just said, I would have strongly preferred it if this stage only had gimmicks and no enemies. That would have made it a lot more unique. 6th level on the lineup is Enternal Suffering 4. Pranksters Are Weird, You Know, by MeeM, with 8 plays and a score of -2. So the 4th in a series of Enternal Suffering levels. Enternal Suffering specifically. Rather generous checkpoint placement, but I suppose the stage has a lot more instant death, so it makes sense. Okay then, the challenges preceding this and the last checkpoint weren't that difficult. Even this is a lot easier than the previous stage, Run and Gun 2. Over there the tops just dissipated or dropped immediately. Here you have 1 second before they drop, so it's a lot more forgiving. I guess we drop directly down to the left there. Alright, I found the hole. I should have taught that earlier, using the wind tornado one time and then falling down the hole here. But you're forced to take it that there even if you use the wind tornado, the first time in order to find the hole, and the second time you'll drop down the hole. And the checkpoint density of the stage is getting even more frequent. When the stage isn't that difficult anyways, excluding that one point. And now we fight Crashman with this room filled with Shadow Man platforms. Okay then, I got him out. I thought I was forced to do a reset over there. I almost was able to do it, but of course, I got a bit too cocky there. Plus, Crashman controls crash bombs right through these Shadow Man platforms. Well, this boss fight is certainly harder than usual. And there we have it. That was the end of Enternal Suffering 4. Outside that one area where I had to find the gaps in the spikes off screen using the wind tornado, this stage wasn't that hard. It was certainly a bit harder than Dr. Amyor Stage 1, but I liked Amyor Stage 1 more than this one. That one was more unique with all of its gimmick usage. Looking at the recording time, I think I'll end off the part right about here. So overall, out of the 6 levels I played in this part, my favorite level would definitely be Derilect Factory by Tylerbot. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!